Okay, so we're talking about using this for the yams payment. Okay.
Right. So the status of that project is what that she's gonna the Yamses will be paying us $500, and um,
Exactly. No.
Lizzie Lizzie is accounting for 8 of those hours. Um, Noel and Robert both are going to get 2 hours. Now that is $600, and what we're going to do is that $500 is going to come from the Yams, and 100 of it is just going to be a thank you really to Noel and Robert because they put in 10 times that much effort. And Noel, you're on the line, and Robert, I know hear this. Your work's definitely much appreciated. I mean, if we if we could pay you more, we would, and we definitely will if we keep on doing what we're doing. Oh,
Hey,
Robert's on.
yeah, let's get on.
Oh,
Nice.
wow. Yeah, Robert. See, you hear how we talk about you behind your back.
Yeah, we were talking about smack. We were talking that shit. No.
I only got a few minutes, Rashawn.
No, you guys are not special enough to be having Snugs talk to your face like that.
Yeah.
Still in my feelings. I'm still in my feelings.
Wait, hold on, guys. Robert, what were you saying? You had a few minutes.
Yeah, the whole weekend I've been working on the CloudBot interface. We're doing pretty much, and we're making a Mac on the, we're making a website into a Mac, so it's like an operating system. I'll have to show you a little later. That's our interface for CloudBot. It's like an operating system. So it's really
Okay. So if you basically we're talking about payments. If you look on the screen, Robert, you'll see there's a service called Cash.me. I just want to try it out, and we're gonna take $500 from or get paid $500 from the Yams, and then there's gonna be another $100 that'll be added to that. You and Noel will both be getting. You'll start off getting 50 from whenever Shannon pays through, and then that next 100 will come through on the next billing cycle, which that'll be on the 1st. And let's see here, and can you write that down, Jonathan, so we make sure that we take care of that and don't let that slip through the cracks for the next pay cycle.
Okay.
I'll turn it.
Wait a second. So we said 500 for.
We get 500 now, and then so Lizzie's going to get 400. Robert and Noel are going to get 50, and then there's going to be another 2 hours that'll be added to their time just from that last project, this last paying cycle. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
No, but you're adding an additional hour, correct?
Yeah, I do know that. Like I said, that's coming out of the SneakyHead pot, and and if anything, it's a thank you for all of the hard work that you guys do. Seriously, 'cause you do. Even Robert says, you don't have to pay me anything, but it doesn't matter. It's just a token of our
Bro,
appreciation.
man, I'm good with 2. Yo, I'm not.
Yo, Noel, just run with it.
Just run with it, Noel.
Yeah.
So each one of you guys are going to be good, getting 2 hours. The second hour will come through on the 1st. So that, and Jonathan, if there is an issue, if you can sense that Shannon thinks this is too much or she doesn't want to do it, then we'll get the account and the routing number.
Okay.
All right, so that takes care of that. Robert, you only have a few minutes, so why don't you take over the call? And what we want to do is have this be in this retrospective. We want to say what did we learn and what did we do last week, and then what are our goals for the next week coming up.
Okay, so I'll start what I've been working on this week.
And make it personal too, and towards the group, because you only have a little bit of time, and we want your input. And also specify who you're going to pair with and who you'll be getting help with, because you don't want to do this stuff by yourself.
Okay. So I'll start off with what I've been doing this week. So for the past, 4 days, I guess I've been working on the CloudBot interface for the SneakyHead API. And what we've done is we made like a Mac OS X themed site in the browser. So we're calling it Cloud OS, Cloud Operating System. And I guess it looks like a Mac. So our goal is to replicate a Mac in the browser and kind of give the user a nice feel to the GUI. So that's kind of what I've been working on, and I'm about ready to start sending off or firing off requests at the SneakyHead API. So yeah, I'm definitely going to need to pair with you, Rashawn, later this week on that. We can get back on that, and that's kind of what I've been up to. So yeah.
Nice, that's great, Robert. And so what is your personal goal for the week?
My
to have.
personal goal is to finish the interface and start firing off requests your way.
Okay, that's good. That sounds like a good. I mean, because that damn sure could take a week's worth of time to really get cracking. And we have to be honest. We have to be honest about that. Like we can sit and say, oh, we can have it done in a day, but going and killing yourself for 20 hours a day in front of a screen, like that's not the lifestyle that's sustainable that we want to live. Really, we want to always be having fun doing this, and have it be lucrative and just create great ideas. Because I mean, any of us can sit and work on something for 24, 48 hours, but then you don't do anything for a week.
Yeah.
So that's awesome there. The next thing too is that let's see here, we have all of that, and Robert will be making the request there. Noel, what's the status on the mobile application? And just a caveat, had a conversation from our founders meeting this week. This upcoming weekend, there is a sneaker conference, Soul Exchange, I think it is. And if you're and whoever's in town for that, then we'll definitely take a trip out to that. And also, the person who runs Soul Exchange is a great friend of Chris. We've already had a conference with him this week, and if we could have maybe some sort of prototype that we can spit out there, that would be fantastic. So. That can be a goal that we can choose. If we make that, it's great. If we don't make it, then there's other conferences too. So now, how's the mobile app?
Hello, gentlemen. The mobile app is in the process of just after I had to pair up with Tim, who you're familiar with. I just been trying to get in touch with Jamel. All the images, I would say, are up. We have them. It was just time that we need to take just to pair up and get it done. I will share to show. I think everybody's seen it, but just to do it again, I'll just share what I have.
Uh-huh.
So, you're going to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen.
Well, wait. No, he's not. Oh, you're going to share your screen. Got it. So then, you can.
Let me just unshare right quick, and
you guys can just click on my screen.
Yeah. I'm just presenting there right quick.
Okay. Yeah,
and you're gonna want to share your screen because I don't have screen sharing, and so you're kind of sharing my screen, Jonathan. So you'll keep yours up, but just click on Noel's because his will be able to focus.
Okay.
You're Sean, I gotta run in like 5 minutes. All right.
All right. So you're all square then, Robert, eh?
Sure, dude. I want to see this.
Wait, before you leave, what do you want to do? More of, the same of, what? No.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to do? Less of, more of, or the same of? Yeah. These are three things.
Okay. What would I like to do more of? Huh. You mean like development-wise, or
in general?
Anything.
In general. I'd say I'd like to do more of focusing on the Clawbot and SneakyHead APIs, and then maybe a little less on. I'm not sure about a less, but I definitely want to say focus a little more on the SneakyHead API for at least Rashawn and I's end.
So, and what do you want to do the same of?
The same. I think the shoe app you guys are working on right now is going great. That for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Robert, to do less is more so like. It's weird to do more and to do less. They they definitely complement each other. But to do less, to do more is kind of what's pulling you over the next week. And to do less is when you look back, you don't want to. Sometimes people say, "What did I do bad and what did I do good?" That always leaves you halfway shitty, leaving a conversation. To do less, it's not that it was a bad thing. It's just moving forward, you want to do less of what you were doing the previous week. So what would that be for you?
I really think maybe do less of. Do less of the app development, and I think we should focus on getting the API completely finished this week for our end, Sean.
Well, let's also define that there's no such thing as finished in software development. So then we just specify what we need in the Trello cards.
We should just get it ready to be shipped by early next week, because I think it's about time to wrap it up. On your end, you're pretty much done. It's just my end integrating with your API. I think we should knock that out this week and just be done with it. Not done, but and final stages of production so we can release it.
Well, just specify whatever cards are relevant in Trello, and that'll keep us on board, Robert.
Sure. All right, man.
All right.
Awesome.
Take it,
We'll
man.
talk to you later, Robert.
Yeah, have a
All right,
good
so-
one.
By the way, the app looks great. I'm loving it, guys. Good work.
Hey man, I have none. This is all on one person or two. I have not done anything yet.
Yeah. Hey, Noel, never let him know that the back of the fence isn't painted.
Yeah.
So you're not affiliating the app with SneakyHead?
yeah. This app will be affiliated with SneakyHead. This is the top of the funnel or the head of the funnel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Absolutely. So, what it seems like too, you'll start to notice that there's a name that we have for Sneakyhead, but that's becoming like more so of a community, and all of these products are just spitting out of this community. So, Sneaker Shouts, the Sneaker Addict podcast. That's another one.
no, 'cause you
Hold
should
on.
just call it what it is. We're basically carbon copying Google's effect with becoming an alphabet company.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to talk more about that, Noel. So speaking of which, that actually is a pivot point because we're kind of as we have these, this is our first. We're all over the place, but we'll definitely get a cadence to it. And so speaking of all of the different properties that come out of the community, let's say Shuzu, we have Cloudbot. We even have Holy Grail carts. Cannot forget DeMonte. That's true.
Yeah.
And we have Sneaker Shouts. And we have the Sneaker Addict. So then, what are we adding to this coming up? We have Soul Exchange. Jonathan, this is the stuff that you'll be writing down too. So what that means, and how do we get Soul Exchange? We are link with Chris to onboard Soul Exchange into the SneakyHead chat room.
Okay.
Next coming up too is we have what are the other external projects? We have some client work that we're doing with Neo, and that is related to, let's see here. That is related to Sensible. That's a project Jonathan's on. And I am too. And Noel. And we have the Yams, which is sort of sunsetting, but they're a client of ours, and we still want to treat them well, because you never know when they'll need us again. The Yams. And let's see here. Also, what else do we have here? Also, coming up with, let's see here, I'm putting Brian here. Brian. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's also going to be another one coming up, 9, which is Kittens Play. Yeah, we actually have a hard product we're going to have in shelves in the pet stores.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah, that's going to need some help from Jamel for branding. And we'll probably have to do like some simple website too for it. But that's not going to be coming up for at least another 3 weeks. Jonathan, I'm going to really need you to focus in on it this upcoming week, because we need to get all of the paperwork and logistics for Kittens Play. And we have the money for it already, and we just got to get that rolling because we want to have that license taken care of within the next 30 days.
Last week, but when I got back.
Well, let's be clear. You are a partner in the project, so don't rely on me to give you anything. Like I told you this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if I relied on you, I'd be in a heap of shit. So.
Yeah, that's why you're here, bro.
Yeah.
So if it's a blocker, or if you need to contact Edgar, you should have it already. But get Edgar's number and contact him, because he's been looking for you.
Oh, well, I'm gonna hit him up. I mean, I can't do it right now. I'm gonna hit him up tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, well, don't hit him up unless we have a conference. Don't hit him up individually. Just set up a conference and find out when we'll Uber it.
All right, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Excellent. So then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different properties coming out of SneakyHead so far. How do you guys feel about that? Did you know that?
Well, I just keep abreast of all the notifications off of Trello, so I knew a little bit.
Exactly. So just to keep that in you guys' head as far as how serious and how many people we're already affecting when people are wondering, like, what are we doing? So now, that said, what needs help for, what does Shuzu need over the next week?
Shuzu, okay, I think can you guys see my, oh no, you guys can't see the mouse. So actually there's a transition going on here. So this little hamburger is going to be going away. So just everybody look at this little storyboard, and it's going to look like this from this point on. And we could possibly just eliminate the ad if we wanted to. This is just placement for trying to pay for the app itself if we don't need it. But what it's going to be, with the help of Tim and his excellent ideas and creativity, it's going to be very simple for MVP, so we can shoot this out as soon as possible. So you have the image here. You can swipe left or right. You'll have this, and the idea is to have it scroll up in however way, whether it be like a 3D cube effect or a layover, where if you wanted more information on the shoe, you could just scroll up and see whatever story you might build up for the shoe itself. And from there, we just need to build in the code for the actions. So the action would be swipe left, swipe right, and swipe up. And as soon as we're able to build that and also add the images from SneakyHead API, or if we could, like you said, we could get a hookup from Sneaker Shouts just for the sneaker con or the conference that's coming up, that would be very beneficial. So
well, we got to hook up from Sneaker Shouts. What that means is we have thousands of images that are already on Instagram, right?
Yes, sir.
And from via Sneaker Shouts, we've already gotten the okay. And so I guess Noel, see, or not even just Noel, just I'll put it out there as far as what we need, and whoever grabs it. See what. If we can get those images off of Instagram's API, if they even have an API, I swear they would have an API, and then we could just crawl Sneaker Shouts domain on their API, and that's where we'll get the data from to populate the shoes.
Okay, so we can get the images off of Twitter. We can go.
Probably best served off of Instagram, because the way that you got to understand how Sneaker Shouts' business model works. He gets people to email him images, and also, well, speaking of which, Jonathan, I don't know if it's happened or not, but please link up Ivan with Amanda, because what I'm saying right now is what Amanda's trying to figure out.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, I set up a hangout for Wednesday like 2 weeks ago and sent out invites to everyone. Hit up Ivan. I'm gonna talk to him about that.
Did you send out an invite to Ivan?
I sent out an invite to Amanda, Ivan, and yourself. You should go back to your calendars. You'll see that.
Okay, got it. Well, then, like I said, worst case scenario, you wind up, or not even worse, scenario is you contact people individually, but that's something that should definitely happen, just so we can close out on that, because that'll linger for weeks. But that said, and thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And that said, so Ivan gets people to email him images to his email, and tons of people send them images to get featured on his Instagram account. That's how he got the numbers, and then from there it bounced to Twitter, and then that's where he started making money off of putting out the links, because he doesn't put out links on Instagram, he puts them out on Twitter. And so it's more of, Twitter's more of a situation of like the releases page for Sneaker Shouts, that actually is what he'll put out on Twitter, say go to the releases page, check out these shoes. The stuff that's on Instagram is more people rocking the shoes, and that might be an interesting idea too, with having the types of shoes of people rocking the shoes. So, so Noel, if you can go to Instagram.com/sneakershouts.
Yes, sir. You said Sneaker Shouts? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot to ask.
Can't see your screen either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I gotta pull this. You see that?
Yes. So those would be the shoes.
Okay.
So the thing is, we'll figure it out, but we just be staring at shoes for the time being. The next phase after that would be actually getting meta information about the shoes, because we can say hot or not all day, but we don't know the name of the shoe, and like we don't want to do something crazy like try to parse some comment or something like that. We can use the sneaker shots for now, but if we could actually add information about the shoes, because that's what's important to us. This is just sneaker port. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So, for the app itself, did you want to try to cultivate some information on it, or just keep it simple?
Not yet. The only thing we got to do is just get some prototype out that's just a working mock.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. We can. I mean, I just needed to know what was your time like today.
Yeah, we're gonna pair this evening.
All right, you didn't like I said 10, 11. I didn't.
Hold on. Oh, there they are. Go back up. Varsity Red, Jordan 6s.
they're limited out too. They look limited out.
Those are Rashawn's favorites.
Yeah, no, he told me. He just told me.
And they got the perfect lemonading on them and everything.
And I told him, I was like, color difference doesn't make a big deal for me.
Oh, it sure does for me, man.
I know, I can see that. Oh yeah, I gotta stop by. I gotta stop by and pick them up after we're done with this.
Okay, that's what's up. That's the true Bulls color right there. So so you can close that out. So like even if you look at that, so click on the link again. Actually, click on the image, and there's see rocking the 2009 Air Jordan or Air Jordan 6 Black Varsity Red. Like we probably could just take the first comment, and that would be the information about the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that wouldn't be the final step, because we don't really have information about the shoe. Like if somebody searched for that, it would be difficult for us to get a hold of that. Or so like having like shoe name, title, the same way Nike does in their data on their site and how they display them on their website. Just getting that information. So that said too. So just so we can move forward from Shoe Zoo, I think we're clear on what we need for this upcoming week, right?
Yep.
Correct.
All right, so then Sneaker Shouts. Speaking of which, with Sneaker Shouts, and this might be, so I've been doing some, DeMonte and I have been working on Sneaker Shouts, and I got a message from Ivan. If you go to, so Jonathan, if you could share your screen.
Yep. Right.
All right, let me go back. I'm gonna kill this.
Okay. Where do I go? Slack?
Yeah. No. Well, I'm sharing my. You're just looking at my screen.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah. So then here. Now, the thing that we got to be clear about is to make sure he knows that has nothing to do with the work that we've done on the page so far. Perception's reality.
Okay.
So if I go to his page, right? Let's see here. If I go to Sneaker Shouts / releases. Wow, that's slow.
That is pretty slow. I mean, the scrolling part, okay.
It's still loading. It's still loading, too.
Yeah.
Yo, is there any form of spriting you could do with this, or you don't?
Well, let's be clear. Spriting is when you have one image that you just only show a cropped a portion of it, and you just shift it around, so you don't have to download multiple images. I get what you're saying, though, Noel. For the spriting would be good if the shoes never changed, because with a sprite, you would just download one big, huge image that has all of the shoes on it, and you just adjust the image display based off of some coordinate, some X or Y coordinate. And that's what Google does too. So if we go to google.com and we do a search for, say, sneaker.
Hello?
And hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And what happens is, what's cool, I learned this just this past week, speaking of spriting, is that, so now see the G and the O and the G and the LE and all of that? So if you go, this is what's interesting here. If you take this image, that's just a background image, and you see where it says background position, -96 and 0?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
If you put the image actually into Google's, so tell me what you see about that, Noel. This is a little dev learning here.
Yo, those, what is those? The play button plus, and they're all grouped up together. Most of these things look like they're grouped up together. Like they're all stacked in one location. And
When
I
you
think
look,
you just,
continue.
what happened?
Continue.
Hmm. Now, I can remember a little spriting, but it was hard for me to figure it out because of the X, Y positions that you had to bring it pointed to. Yeah, wow.
Well, this is what a sprite is. It's just when you, instead of, each one of these images would be a separate download or a separate call across the internet, and that is crazy for like mobile devices. And why would you make, I don't know how many images there are here, like 30? Why would you make 30 different calls when you can just download this one image and just offset wherever you want it to be? So Google's entire website is based off of this one image right here.
Yeah, that's how you do it with fonts as well. What is it? Is it fonts or something?
Yeah,
If you take
fonts are
like
the
a
same.
stack, yeah, if you take like a stack of no, like icon fonts or anything like that, you could group them in that way in the same philosophy as spriting, and you pick it out based on, like, I forget how, but like the positions.
Yeah, well, that's where spriting came from, was fonts from back in the day, because fonts have been doing that since like the 80s. So
Okay.
the thing is that all of these shoes are dynamic, and Ivan puts every single one of these in. So spriting's not going to be a solution for us, right? We suggested paging. We have a Trello card for this too as well. We suggested possibly paging. And speaking of which, I'll just go and look at it there. God, see, this is why I love design sprints, man, because we just go right to the information. We got paging, pagination, which is starting to become more of a, I don't know, of a thought, because really the question is to sit back and say, what's the problem that Sneaker Shouts is having? And it's the pages are loading up slow. So pagination might be one solution. But that said, that's the problem. There's also two others. He'd like to have the shoe name and the price and a link to the shoe from the light box. There, you can actually do a light box, so when you click on this, a larger image of the shoe shows up. We've disabled that now, so it goes directly to the foot site, and it opens up in a new window. And this is work that Demonte and I worked on. So you know, he's never written code or looked at code or anything, but is becoming a developer. And so this was definitely a big deal for both of us when we pair here. But it opens up in a new window, and then the thing about it is, though, is that what a must-have is it's got to have the name of the shoe underneath it and the price. And a nice-to-have would be when it opens up in a light box and the same thing shows up in that light box. We kind of can get both. If we can do one, we can do both. The technical problem is all of these shoes are coming from different foot sites. And if you look, he has a bit.ly. If you look down in the bottom left, it takes a bit.ly, because what it does is he has an affiliate marketing code, and it appends it to the end of the URL for whatever foot site it is. So when the foot site loads up, it knows what affiliate site it came from, and he hides that by using a bit.ly, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so basically, we need to, like with Nike, we already have code to go to the Nike site and read the title and the price. We've been doing that for months. But then when I realized that he uses like 10, 15 different foot sites, the problem became like 10, 15 times harder. So that's something that I'm kind of going to be focused on. Me and Demonte will take a look at that and such. But with that same technology, when that's driven out, we then would have the same technology for Shuzu to get like information like title, price, what category the shoe's in, all of that. So at first I was thinking it might be too difficult to do, but I think that we're going to need it. So do you think that maybe and that's just a strategy that I'm taking to kind of kill two birds with one stone. What are your thoughts on that and your input on that, Noel?
I had a little conversation with Robert maybe last week when I actually posted those images out, or beginning of this week, like more trying to combine the idea of, because he saw initially the idea of making it available to purchase. That's like a design sprint further down, and connecting that with CloudBot. So I always had this idea that we're possibly going to try to integrate other services that we are offering within each app. So we're trying to give some form of synergy across all applications.
Right. It all stems from the SneakyHead API. So really, what would be nice is that no matter what we do, we just need to make calls for every image to the SneakyHead API, which kind of scares me because the page is already loading slow.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, that's something that we're going to need to focus on this week for sure. And Ivan is a little bit, if you can tell from the message, we're really good at reading people, and that's a programming skill too. Jonathan's figured that out, and you can already tell from the conversation that Ivan's in a little bit of pain here.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get him that drug. So then so that takes care of sneaker shouts, and let's see here, this Holy Grail carts. I'll have to talk to DeMonte about that. He's having some issues with finding proxies and getting that stuff for his venture, and I'll have to get more information with him on that, and we'll fill you guys in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, the Sneaker Addict. Okay, let's see here. The Sneaker Addict is looking for some podcasts. I think we should definitely come to a decision. I've reached out and I've linked up him and let's see here. Have you linked up Chris and DJ Dell?
They have not linked up yet.
What'd you say?
They have not linked up yet. They will soon.
Right. Well, I went ahead and took care of that because I knew that was the truth. And there's a channel called the Sneaker Addict right here that we've been communicating in with for the past week. And Chris is now inside of that as well.
Did you invite for that?
What'd you say?
Did you? You never? I never got an invite for that.
Oh, well, I mean, you didn't need to get an invite for it. Because the only thing is that DJ Dells and Chris needed to be linked up, and it's that simple. I love it when I don't even need to be in that room. You know what I mean?
All right, cool.
So, I mean, like I said, there's certain things that we need to figure out what each other's strengths are and also have each other's back. And there's a lot of things that we depend on each other for, but if something needs to get done, then any of us need to do it. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
And then that way people can go and live their lives and stuff, and Lizzie can go to weddings, and Jonathan can see his girl and all of that stuff, and Noel can hang out with his girl, and that's the way we should live our lives.
Very much so. Very much so.
Noel likes to go see his girl.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Homie talking, he in Paris right now. Really?
Yeah.
Well, last time I saw Noel, if I looked before, Noel tends. I was just looking at, where is it at?
Really, we going on Facebook now? Are we going on Facebook?
Yeah. You see what I was? I was looking at that. I'm gonna have to post that into the room and say, because Noel, I didn't know Noel had some salsa moves, man. He shocked the hell out of me.
I'm Haitian, bro. What you think we do on that island?
Voodoo.
Nah, man. Y'all need education on that. Y'all get.
Yeah, I'm playing.
No. I know. It's just a general distinction with that. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So that takes care of let's see here. That takes care of that with the Sneaker Addict. We gotta actually we gotta get that podcast nailed for him this week. And Jonathan too. One thing that we can do better on, and at least for my do more do less, I can actually say that let's see, I could do more. I guess collaborating with others for sure, because this work week has been very trying for me, and That would be to do more, and let's see here. I don't know. Do less procrastinating and do more of just nailing something. Like if something's on the plate and it's immediate in front of your face, like just go get it done. It's really that simple, or else it will freaking linger. So that's that. That's that for me. But we need to get that podcast because I'll tell you what, like Jonathan, you might need to hold DJ Dells' hand a little bit, even like Mario. But we gotta keep him in that group. So I can already tell just from the statistics, he's already been falling back because nobody really, like, he didn't get that welcome that we've all given. And, I'm holding myself accountable, and you should hold yourself accountable for that, Jonathan, because that's a big fish.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely just keep talking to see what I can do to make him feel more comfortable, more welcome.
Yeah,
more integrated. Yeah.
Right, and of course the best is letting them know who we are and what we're doing here and such. We have a pair of Yeezys too, and those are his. And basically just figuring out, how let's see here, what's the best perception for us to get those in his hands? That's if he needs them, and that's just been one thing too. They might give a giveaway on a sneaker shout, on a sneaker addict, or whatever maybe it may have you. That's the nice to haves, and we do have that. It's just a gift to him for coming into the group, and so even if we don't give them to him, we'll at least toss it to whoever it ends up in their hands set for retail. Because I'm sure that'll create some sort of wave for somebody. The must-have is to get his podcast taken care of. That's it, period, for the Sneaker Shacks.
Okay, but he needs to talk to Chris first, right?
He doesn't need to talk to anybody first. Chris is just there because Chris knew how difficult it was getting on the Slack and getting accommodated, and DJ Dells is kind of feeling that whirlwind of like, wow, all these people are all around me. I don't know.
So who's going to be handling the podcast?
That's primarily that's the dev channel, but really all of the information should wind up filtering down into the Sneaker Addict.
Okay.
The Sneaker Addict private group, but it starts off in dev. We already.
I know I'm not supposed to be in that channel, but could you still add me in that channel just in case?
Yeah, I can now. I just didn't add you because that was at the most important time. When Chris reaches out and says, "Hey, you're gonna link me up to DJ Dells or what?" And I'm just sending that.
Yeah, that's when we had our founders meeting.
Yeah, no, it was another contact too. So like this. Yeah, so we definitely got to listen for what people are asking for. Let's see. All right. So then that takes care of the Sneaker Addict. For Soul Exchange, we have already taken care of everything we need for Soul Exchange. We've had the meeting last week. I don't remember what the gentleman's name is, so if somebody can figure that out, because clearly, I was writing down why we should really even be on the horn with Soul Exchange, and Chris
that's Chris's friend right there, right?
Correct.
Yeah, well, I sent him an invite like the same day Chris told me to send an invite. I sent in two invites actually. Yeah. I'm not sure if he was able to get in. I'll just email him and see what's good.
Well, we'll add, another scenario is that his event's coming up, so we'll figure that out from there.
All right, cool. So what I want to do more of, less of, and the same of, I want to do more of, once again, getting people together and having everyone on the same page and nobody being confused about what's going on. That's like my every week thing, obviously. Do less of having people. What would that be? Do less of. I'll figure that one after. Do the same of. Do the same of. You know what? Yeah, same thing. Having people, which is what I'm supposed to do. Having everyone working in harmony. How about that? And do less of would be shit. I'm trying to figure out. Do less of having Rashawn having to hit me up about stuff. How about that?
It'll make your life easier.
Oh hell yeah. I mean, now I feel like now you're slowly really not having to hit me up about a lot of stuff, so it's pretty good for me too.
Absolutely, man, because it'll always feel like you know those little children, hey Noel, you know those little kids, sometimes the moms be putting leashes on them.
Bruh, you don't. Hold on. You don't even know. These white kids, I swear, the ones that don't even have the leashes on them, they bumping into you. The parents are not even saying, "I'm sorry."
Why they gotta be white kids, Noel?
Because it's mostly white kids that be on fucking leashes.
Come on, man, really? Come on. I'm not even trying to, stereotype.
I know Noel ain't even trying to be racist. I just see more white kids be on them things than black kids, man.
Well, that's a fact. So
Like, I gotta stop walking because this kid don't know what he's doing, and I'm looking desperate at the parents. They ain't even apologizing for this. I gotta wait for this fuckery to move.
well, they clearly can't apologize. Well, why do you think the kid's on the leash? So there's that. You know, if you can't control something, what are you gonna do? No, if you can't control someone, what are you gonna do? And you can't kill it.
Facts.
So,
That's facts. I mean, that's facts.
so sensible. How's that going, Jonathan?
Pretty good. I finished that doctrine. I sent him another version. So like this week, I didn't do as many hours because Phil was just like, "Oh, tell me when you approach 10 hours." So he clearly doesn't want me to do that many hours, right? So I'm gonna keep it around like 5 to 6.
Oh, that's you. But if I'm in your situation, I'd ask myself, why am I cutting 50% of my oxygen off? Straight up.
Yeah, I did ask myself that too. All right,
Straight
well you're
up.
right. I mean, for the most part, it's like the work that he's giving me doesn't take me 10 hours to do. Let's be fucking honest. And I don't want to be that guy that just bills them for like shit that I like just an hour of me not just twiddling my fucking thumbs and shit. So what I do ask Phil is like just give me more work. That's the way that's going to happen. Just give me more work.
Well, I would challenge you this, Jonathan. I'd be willing to say that's more of an employee mentality, because you're technically speaking, you're sitting around waiting for someone to give you work, and I will promise you this.
Well, I mean, just
Can I finish my sentence?
Yeah, yes. Go ahead. I'll cut you off.
I will promise you that with that mentality, the work will dwindle down to zero. You see that? And I'm staring at this SneakyHead 0 on my screen right now, and it's funny. I'm just sitting here looking at this right here, and there it is. Oops. There it is right there. That's what it'll turn into fast.
Yeah.
So what you do is, and it's the same thing that I did. No, I didn't wait for anybody to give me work over in Neo. I went and I saw where I could contribute the most, and I put forth my effort, and even more so. And that's I don't want to get religious on you, but that's just the way things work. Is that you give a little bit. I think in every religion, it's like you always give a little bit more than you're getting, and like some people call that tithing, but a lot of contemporary people consider tithing as far as money. But in every holy book you get into, it really is of a person's time, and that's how you have growth. So that's why it's the mentality of what can I contribute more so and then some, so I can show people what I can do, instead of waiting for people to assume what I can do and just them giving me scraps. You go out there and you take the first fruit, and I promise you, if you want 20 hours at twice the pay, you'll get it. I used to tell Noel. I told Noel was making $35 an hour back before, and he wanted extra time. And I remember Noel sat there, and I had looked at him, or I talked to him. We were on a call, and I said, he was like, I just need more hours, man, and to do certain things. And every time Noel said that, the first time, he gets it now, I believe, but the first time, he was like, well, why didn't you tell me there was more to work on this project now? I was like, because he didn't ask. You remember that, Noel?
Yeah, I know.
And he went from 35 to 50. That's Noel's currently going rate right now. If anybody comes to me and has anything to say about it.
Yeah. What I meant about my earlier comment was not the way that the way that I said it. I meant to say that like I want to relieve him from the pain that he's having in whichever area he needed. He needs pain relief. That's about it.
Right.
That's the way I was seeing things. I'm gonna take into account exactly what you said, which is what I'm going to do actually. So more so this week, I'll talk to Phil and just figure it out.
Do you and you don't even have to talk to Phil, because I'm going to tell you this: if you getting information out of Phil is going to be like you trying to get stuff out of me. I'm just telling you, like, it's going to be more difficult than if you figured out where
So
things
I should
were.
probably head over and talk to other people in the Slack channel.
Precisely.
Okay. Well,
But knowing what they're good at and not without disturbing them. So, for instance, what do you know about Katie?
not much.
Then you should, because
Okay.
She's a freshman in college, and she already has a mind like a freaking Bill Gates.
Really?
And she's a freshman in college, and she's hungry. And so already, like, you and her should have even known each other, as far as because she's a loose cannon. And with people who are like that, they're good, but it's better for them to be a sniper. And so, I'm going to be pairing with her and all of that stuff. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Philip said he needs a Jonathan, like the way you help out with SneakyHead. So if you're helping out with operations and filling in holes and stuff for Sensible, you should know You should know Katie's birthday already, and she starts on Monday, tomorrow. You see
All
what I'm
right.
saying?
Well, I'll definitely send her a direct message.
Yeah, and that's if you can even welcome her or thank you, but it's really, like I said, Jonathan, it's having that sort of, it's a real sixth sense about it, and that's even for you, me, Noel, and whoever's on this call. It's a real sixth sense about how to approach other people and seeing where they can help and where you go and where you're hurting by being around and things like that. But if you nail it, then people will always consider you valuable. Definitely more valuable at 5, 10 hours of your time, however many there are. It's going to be, you're going to wish you had a twin of yourself, and that's when you go hire someone.
That's what you did exactly when you hired me. So.
Absolutely, I just offsetted everything off to you. You'd be crazy to keep it all on yourself.
Yep.
So let's see here. What else do we have? Lastly, here there's a couple of more, and I think we'll be done there. So we took care of Sensible. We took care of the yams. Actually, before we offset to past Sensible, I've been developing 40 hours a week for them, and that'll be up for the next week coming up as well. And then we're going to figure out what the next step of that Sensible project is. There's 2 waves that are just the onboarding process and the dashboard. And I'm sure this is stuff that you already know about, Jonathan. And Noel, great job on the deployment process. After you left, Lachlan left from Neo with the biggest smile on his face, and he was like, "Who would have thought? You can actually be a sysadmin or a DevOps person and on Friday afternoon, leave from work to go see your woman with a smile on his face and not have to worry about the whole house of cards falling apart." And that was all thanks to you, Noel.
Oh, appreciate it.
Kudos.
And then you just did that little spark in his head. You see how you took that one spark and say, "Hey, this is something I've done research on. I think this is the right solution." And then you put the reins in Lachlan's hand. And he's the head of technology over at Neo, so it's the same thing. Like, he's depending on the people around him to raise him up, and you definitely did that right there, sir. And you keep on doing that. There's always going to be opportunities for you.
No, it was just crazy that I was just filling him in. I was just filling him in on just some stuff that he just overlooked at Heroku, and he was just putting 2 and 2 together. Like, one of his friends was going back to Heroku, who originally left Heroku. So he said for him to come back to Heroku, it had to be something big, and he wasn't telling me what it was. And I saw the smile on his face, like, this possibly would have been it, because he was just so excited after I explained to him like how this is so freaking beneficial, like, going forward for every project, for anybody that actually uses Heroku to deploy any app.
Right. So what I would say Noel, is not to figure out like how long something takes or whatever, but we need to nail that Sensibot for the Slack channel this week coming up because you got great momentum with Heroku. Nail that development process down for this project, and they're going to use it for every single project that they have there at Neo, and you will be remembered for that. And that's how you make the leap from junior developer to taking a prefix off of your name, not even senior developer, and just calling yourself a developer, period. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. It was just I know what the problem is. The thing is how the script is set up currently. It might be just an easy little change. It's set up for single application deployment. So how Heroku's having it now, it's multiple application deployment. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about. You figured that out with Lachlan.
damn, I'm sorry. I just got thrown shade right there. Like, I don't care.
No, I don't care. I just don't even know what you're talking about, man. Like, I'm serious. Like, you have more. You have more. You're an expert in that field to me.
Okay, I get you because I just know more. That's all.
Just exactly like Timothy Ferris said, expert is just no more. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah, it's 5:02, and I need to get on a move here.
Yeah,
So,
do what you want to do.
I'm gonna do my do more, same, do less. So, do less possibly would be it's a combination of not waiting for my opportunity and grabbing it, and not having my hands idle, and doing less of trying to do everything on my own, and possibly being humble enough to ask for a pairing session with somebody instead of trying to figure it out, because that's time wasted, and that's the only commodity we all have as humans.
that's true. You're right about that, man.
Yeah, I know. Do the same is be consistent in what I do, and make sure that's the same thing through and through every day, morning and night. So I'm trying to do the same as waking up a little bit more. I'm taking the copy of you, Snugs, because I see how you have your calendar. You always have something. Like, you don't spend no less than 30 minutes with nothing to do. So I started setting up reading time and possibly trying to fill my calendar up a little bit more to be more consistent and more same throughout my day. Do more of learning, because that never stops. So that's what I probably like to do. Learn from others. Learn from anybody that's willing to just tell me something that I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Nicely done, man.
Thank
Nicely
you.
done. Okay, so great. So that takes care of everything.
Just one quick question. Do you guys want to do this bi-weekly or just do it every week?
I think bi-weekly, because with development, there can be no changes one week to another. As in bi-weekly, there possibly could be some. Yeah.
Alright, well, one thing I'm going to start doing, though, is I'm going to be hitting you guys up exactly what you've been doing, because I need to be making a list for the founders so they have exactly what's been going on that specific week. So I'm going to be hitting you guys up just to get a little more info, like a quick summary of what went on during the week.
Right, and it's also, Jonathan, even having empathy for things like, so in the founders meeting, you heard Borzu say that Borzu actually has to do more, the same do more as Noel does. Instead of sitting and waiting, trying to do his own ideas, to reach out and see. He was like, you mean I can actually go in the dev channel and like ask people to help me out with things in there? And you heard me on the talk. I was like, absolutely. So the thing is that he said it, but probably has totally forgotten it because he's not used to it. So having that empathy and saying, oh, well, I heard you, Borzu, and what is it that you want to do in the dev channel, and really like foster that introduction into the dev channel, almost the same way that you foster like DJ Dells into the dev channel or into the whole SneakyHead Slack channel, just like you did for every single person. Does it make sense?
Yep. Indeed it
So
does.
I don't know what Borzu needs, but we definitely want to figure that out as far as what's on his mind.
Yeah.
And
I'll post this video up right after we're done with
Okay.
the call, so everybody gonna have access to that.
Awesome. So that's is there any questions from anybody? I don't have any questions. You all answered all of mine.
This was very, very clear cut developers retrospective, so I think we're on the right path with these. I'm glad that you guys joined the call. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
All right, peace.